It may not look like it, but this is a very dangerous object. It causes otherwise calm and civilized men to sit for hours at a time, screaming at the top of their lungs. It causes normally loving and polite women to scream at those men in frustration. It causes marital unrest. It can sometimes even cause divorce. Now, how many of you guys think this object is just a source of great pleasure? Nothing wrong with it. No? How many of you women would be happy if you never saw one of these things again? You're sick of it. All right. I'm Barbara De Angelis, and coming up on my show, we're going to talk about this, and we're going to talk about this, and can I do this? We're going to talk about this, and we're going to talk about this, and what it is your man gets from this stuff and from sports that he doesn't get from you. Next. What TV show gets the highest ratings of the whole year? The Super Bowl. Nothing else, the Super Bowl. It is the biggest day for sports fans. The problem is, it's not just one day a year. As many women know, there are sports on TV, aren't they? Every day. And every weekend, from the minute you wake up, all night long, you can watch sports. Now, many men believe that watching sporting events is a sacred act of male bonding, and it's their right as a man to participate in this primal experience. Whereas women, what do we think? That they're wasting their time, they're being adolescent, they're obsessed with sports, and they're avoiding the relationship. Right, ladies? All right. Guys, now, we are here with a bunch of men and women. We want to understand how the other sex thinks. Guys, help us understand. What is it about sports that turns you on so much? What is it about sports? Yes?
Well, we love women, right? Here's sports. It's kind of like a scale, okay? Now, come Super Bowl Sunday, man's got to do what a man's got to do.
Wait, stand up. What does it mean a man's got to do? What is this? A man's got to do what a man, what does that mean?
Well, it's it's a tough guy thing, you know?
So you're saying that watching sports, what does it do to you when you watch a game? When you're sitting there with a bunch of guys watching a game, what does it do to you?
Well, my blood starts to boil.
Okay, but now doesn't that happen when you're with a woman? That same feeling, that excitement, that passion?
That's where we go back to the scale, you know, the scales, you know.
So sports, are you saying sports turn you on more than women do? You're
Well,
guilty. Sit down. You're guilty. He's guilty. All right, yes?
Is this on? I think it's more, we're bred for sports. I mean, from the moment go, my father had me in front of a TV set, watching football all day Sunday. My mom was gone. It was just the two of us. And ever since then, it's been men and sports. We either play it or watch it.
Okay, but what if your girlfriend said, you have a girlfriend? Yeah. All right. What if your girlfriend said, I don't want you to watch TV. It's stupid. I want to spend the day with you. I haven't seen you in a while.
It depends upon where you are in the relationship.
What? In the beginning of the relationship?
Well, if you're in the beginning of a relationship, you're going to be wanting to spend more time with her anyway. If you're 4 or 5 years down the line...
Who disagrees with this, ladies? Who has something they'd like to say back about this? Yes?
See, I just can't understand guys. With this sports thing, it's dumb to me. The guys that get all together on the weekend and they want to come over to one person's house, particularly mine half the time, it seems like, and all these big macho guys over there making all this noise, doing the wave by themselves. And I don't understand, what they're getting out of this sports thing. And this one particular friend that my boyfriend has is extremely loud. He can be in the room by himself, and I can hear him all the way in the other room making all this noise and screaming and yelling. And like I said, I'm in the other room by myself, crawled up in the bed, listening to all the fun they're having. I don't understand what's going on. I can't participate in what's happening because I don't understand what's going on. And every time I ask them, I go, what are you getting out of the sports thing? and, you know, they say some technical sports junk, and I don't know what they're talking about.
Thank you for that. Yes?
Barbara, we're not asking for much. All we want is a little bit of attention. Now, this is one I know you have never heard. My husband decides that he's going to participate in the family dinner, right? So he comes to the table with his transistor radio and his little receiver in his ear. He's listening to the game. He's not listening to us.
So are you a sports widow? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, yes, I am.
How long have you
Definitely.
been married?
24 years.
24 years. See, she has a boyfriend she can't even handle her yet. 24 years. So what do you do with this? What do you tell him?
Oh, it's really been, well, it's been going on for a long time. The children, you know, kept growing up. It was a three-way conversation with myself and the two children. Now, let me tell you something else. He would sit there and he'd pretend like he's actually involved in sitting there at the table with us.
I get it. So he's like nodding his head and everything, but he has no idea what anyone is saying. He's listening to the game.
All of a sudden you hear him, you see him flinching a little bit, right? Well, he's paying attention to a strike or whatever it was, and not only, but he's acting like he's with us, and furthermore,
he's
here? Right there.
Where is he? Would you stand up over here? Stand up, stand up. She's accusing you of being a sports fanatic and ignoring her. What do you have to? How can you explain sitting at the table with
She just doesn't understand what it means to be a Dodger fan. I mean, you know, it's so important for the Dodgers to win every game.
And without you, they can't do it.
They need all the support they can get.
All right, now let me ask you, ladies. What is it that bothers you about this? I mean, we do things men don't like, they do things. Is it the fact that they get so passionate about this stuff, but they don't show that same excitement for stuff with us? Yes? Stand up.
I think that's an issue, too, because
Stand up.
you can tell them you can buy them a car for Christmas, you can buy them a full-length leather jacket, and it's, oh, thanks, honey, that's great. But if you're watching a game between two of the worst teams in NFL, oh, that's great, touchdown, oh, my God, and they will make all the noise, all the adulation, all those wonderful type of feelings, and like I said, you can't get the same thing. It's just like you don't exist if there's some type of, you know, competitive situation around.
So they're saying, we'll get to you in a minute. Right. They're saying that they don't mind you getting passionate about the game, but why not get as excited about them? All right, when we come back, we're going to ask men to tell us a secret. What is it that gets them so excited about sports? We're going to hear some more from women about what we want that we are not getting, so stay with us. Okay, we are talking about why men love sports, why women don't like men who love sports, what it is that men get out of watching guys collide into each other that they can't get out of colliding with us in the other room or something like that, all right? Now, you guys, we heard from some of the women. Tell us what it is that makes you so passionate about the game. He said he feels like he's helping the team out over here, but what is it, yes?
Barbara, listen, it is not the man's fault. This is something that starts early, okay? By age 3, someone puts a ball in our hand. By age 8, we are playing neighborhood sports. At age 12, we are playing organized sports, okay? Now, any type of emotion or habit always starts young. Sports are socialized with men, so what causes this action later on in life is something we cannot change because it's internalized for us. So as a man reaches his sexual peak at 20, it starts going down, and a woman starts going up. So by age 40, the only thing that a man has left, really, is his sports.
I can't control myself. This guy, now he made his point, he sounded like an attorney, didn't he? He's dressed well. This guy is basically saying that men cannot control the fact that they watch television 7, 8, 9 hours a day on the weekend. They cannot control the fact that they are more interested in the game than in you. It's not their fault. Society does it to them. And anyway, by after 20, he's not interested in sex anymore.
No. I didn't say that. But, okay, sex and sports are for men, basically. They are sort of like the same level of intensity. I mean, really, think about it. So that you know, when you're experiencing your favorite team making a touchdown, as a matter of fact, sports is a little more exhilarating to you than
Oh,
sexy.
you better sit down now. You better sit down. Yes.
Well, I happen to be the boyfriend of the lady was talking about earlier.
Oh, where are you?
Yeah,
oh,
she's
okay.
over there.
This beautiful woman over here?
Yeah. So I'll say it depends. It depends on the woman. Yeah, I say that. But first off, I want to say that women contradict themselves. Because when it comes to shopping, something important to them, we have to go. You know, it's no choice there. They want to drag us out there. It doesn't matter what time of day. They can shop late, you know, but they want it now, you know. Football games come on at a certain time of day. Give us our freedom, you know. Let us go. And then every time I hear a woman say, we broke up because of sports and all that, they need to look at themselves. It ain't the sports. They need to look in the mirror, you know. It ain't them.
Yeah, I just want to say that sex and sports, I don't think are only for men, but sex and sports are for women too. I don't know if any of you men have even like tried and sit down with your girlfriend or wife and show them what football is all about, because I believe that it could be a bonding experience with your mate too.
So you're saying that you feel kind of left out, that they get so into it and they know all the language and they know all the players. You agree with this, ladies? Yeah. And you even ask them a question or something and they say, oh, forget it. Yeah? Okay, you don't agree with this?
Well, first of all, I just like to say, by age 3, I had a baseball bat in my hand. By age 4, I had a football in my hand. By the time I'm 21 years old, I've had ice skates, I've had every type of athletic equipment in my possession. And I would like to let you know that I sit right in those games with my father, and I am throwing out plays before he is, and I am very excited. So I want to speak on the behalf that there are women who do not feel deprived, that they're not having sex with their boyfriends, their husbands, etc. We are just as satisfied watching TV and enjoying the game, maybe even more so than some men are. But I think it's also I think it's very important to express the fact that women and sex and football should not be compared on the same level. Even though athletics and sex come from the same endorphins and we both get excited about the same thing and some satisfy other things, those are two totally different situations.
That at the age of 3, she had ice skates and she did this and that with sports. But, I mean, she's an isolated incident when you think about it. I mean, in general, all men at an early age, they grow up with sports. It's the way they learn to relate to their friends. It's the way they learn to do everything. And then, you know, once you grow up at a certain age, it's like asking you to give up your best friend, you know? And then this thing about sex and football or whatever, I mean, you can have sex anytime. But the game only comes on at a certain time. Why don't you turn something like, why don't you turn on the VCR? Why don't you just record the game and then we can have sex later? But by the time the game is over, by the time the game is over and you've had sex and everything, your friends are calling you. Oh, do you know that?
So you already know the score and it's too late.
First of all, I'm saying that men should not always generalize because women can also wait to have sex later. They may not be interested in having sex if you are doing some game or something. So I think that's important to remember not to generalize, especially today sitting in this audience.
Yes. All right. Now, wait hold on a minute, all right? One more comment over you.
Yeah, I would like to comment on the statement this young lady over here made earlier about she doesn't understand how men can sit in front of a TV for 4 or 5 hours on Sunday and watch football. Well, I don't understand how women can sit in front of a TV for maybe 5 hours a day, 5 days a week, and watch soap operas.
All right. I want to hear from some women who feel like you've been sports widows and you just don't know how to deal with it. Yes, because you heard from a lot of men before.
I just want to say on the weekends, I was like a little time with my boyfriend, just a few minutes, you know, and he is glued to the television. I cannot get him away. I mean, no, listen, guys, I feel like I could walk in front of that television stark naked and he would not, he'd be like, get out of the way, get out of the way. I might miss a play or something. It's unfair.
How long have you known this guy?
I've known him for 2 years.
2 years?
2 years.
Are you saying every weekend, sports?
No, it's just sports, and that's all. And it's, you know, I just like a little time. I don't watch soap operas, you know. I don't watch him, okay? He's just television. It's
All right.
not me.
So you have two choices, okay? You can just assume it's going to go on this way for the rest of your life, or you can let
I
him
should
know.
find a new guy.
No, there's a place in the middle. What you give him, it's called, be quiet, you guys. It's called negotiation. Is this him?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I just want to say something in response to that. Well, y'all are worried about how we're not paying attention to you, and maybe that might be because you're not interesting enough. Like,
I mean, the sports come on television.
All right, so are you saying that sports is something that men are interested in, and rather than making fun of it, women should take a little time, ask why you like it, what's interesting about it? Can I watch this game?
I mean,
and
it's
you
obviously
explain it
a
to
big
me?
interest, and it's something that we like to be involved with. And instead of being antagonistic about it, you might want to show your interest, or maybe divert our interest in another direction.
Right. Wait, hold on for a minute. Hold on. So are you saying that, and let me just hear from all you guys, if women showed a little more interest in it, do you think you'd be willing to compromise, maybe watch a little bit less, do some of the things that she wanted to do? How many guys would, if she showed more interest, be willing to compromise a little bit? Anybody? A few guys. I don't know what I'm going to do with these guys. Right. Yes?
Okay, I have done everything possible to compromise as far as that goes. I went out with my boyfriend for 2 years, and I would play basketball with him every weekend. I would watch sports with him and stuff, but he treated me like I was a second-class citizen. I mean, he would get upset when I knew something that he didn't know. I'd be like, oh, yeah, I'd know a statistic on a team, and he'd be, how did you know that? You know, they treat us like we're ignorant and we don't know anything about sports.
Okay, but see, this guy treated you that way.
Yes.
Not all guys. And I think what we're hearing from a lot of these guys is, hey, yes, there are some people who are fanatics, but a lot of men love sports because of what it does for them in the same way that we love whatever it is that we care about. And I think that when we stereotype men, what they're saying is they get pretty rebellious, because men can get that way. And they say, hey, if she doesn't like, see what I mean? And they say, hey, if she doesn't like it, I'm just going to do it even more. So number one, when you meet a guy and you're going out with him, and if you notice after the first week, that's all he talks about, right, ladies? Maybe this guy is not quite the right person for you. Maybe he's not quite the person who is caring. Now, is it true, guys, that some of you maybe don't want to share sports? Do you think it should be maybe your private time? Yes?
I don't feel like it should be a private time. I feel like that they don't want to have an interest in it. It's something that's...
But we do.
It's something that's dear to you, and they don't want to have an interest. I'm someone's loud friend that they talked about earlier.
Oh, you're the guy. Is he the guy?
And I get loud, yeah, because I like sports. But, I mean, and I don't agree with all the guys here about the scale about sports and sex. I don't think they're even related, okay? But... yes, we all have been growing up with sports. We've even played sports, okay? I mean, professionally or whatever. And it's something that you've done all your life, and you just can't cut off like a faucet. And I feel like if maybe they would compromise in a little less shopping, things like that, then maybe we'll compromise on the watching television.
That is fair. All right, thank you very much. All right, next we're going to come back and give you some tips for getting to first base with your sports fan. We're going to help some of these couples, too, so don't go away. I hope that the women who've been listening understand a little bit more about why men love sports and what they love about it. And I hope you guys listening understand how left out, and you heard the women, sometimes we feel. Here are some tips. Ladies, if you know he's into sports, first of all, don't try to talk to him about your life in the middle of the game. That's a sabotage. Let it be his time. But get him to agree that other times he will be with you. You spend 2 hours with him. He spends 2 hours doing something that you enjoy. Negotiate. And guys, please try to understand it's not that we don't want you to have fun. We do. We just want you to be as passionate about us as you are about watching Joe Montana or whoever it is. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. I'm glad you guys were here. Thank you for coming.